Well, we hope this is the best 15 minutes you spend this week. It is 15 minutes in search of sanity in a world gone completely mad. I am, of course, your lovely and talented host, Mark Wilson. And from the other side of the world, another lovely man, Clive Pinder, everybody.
Yes, I've got the proper English salute today because I'm not in America, but I'm still in England. So, we salute properly over here.
Lovely background there. That's it's a beautiful
I am living
location.
large. Thank you. I'm in a ironically, a friend's lovely home in the Cotswolds. And the friend is American. It is one of those, I won't name who, but one of those Americans that decided that perhaps life in England for a few months a year would be jolly good fun. So, of course, they're back in America at the moment. So I am enjoying their manner, so to speak.
You say you're not going to say who it is. Like, if you did, we would all know who it is. Is it a celebrity?
I'm not going to say who it is.
Oh, my God. Come on.
I respect their privacy. I respect their privacy.
If we guess right, will you tell us?
No.
Jeez. All right, fine. What are we talking about today?
We are talking, well, last week, to prove that we are equal opportunity offenders, last week we got it in the neck from some people for sort of bad-mouthing, taking on socialism. Nobody seems to understand that actually when a party calls itself the Democratic Socialists of America, it probably is, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So this week, we're going to look a bit about what really is happening to what I see is equal madness on the right. It would be easy for me to just throw Tucker Carlson's name out there and say, what on earth is going wrong with the right of America? I mean, started by Bannon, perhaps. But yeah, I mean, it seems to me that both parties are crawling to the extremes. And indeed, people are suggesting Tucker might be looking to set up a third party. Personally, I actually think that would be great. I think half the problem is, as the founding fathers warned us, or at least he warned you. I'd been kicked out by then. That two parties just ends up with toxic partisanship. So I'm all for more parties, but I don't for the life of me understand what Tucker Carlson's trying to do other than be as perhaps outrageous and extremist on the right as AOC et al. Are on the left.
Well, yeah, I think you just hit it on the head, Clive. I don't think he's going to start another party. I think he recognizes that that's been tried before, and it's virtually impossible to get that done in America. I think he's just screaming for attention, like he always does. He's a media person, and whether it's Tucker Carlson or Candace Owen, who has been sort of relegated to some sort of weird, extreme right-wing conspiracy theorist corner of America. I mean, I used to love Candace. I used to think she was just very, very smart, very articulate. And then somehow she got into this weird conspiracy world. And I whether it's her or Tucker, any of these extreme right-wing pundits, they're just screaming for attention. They're just screaming for relevance. And
but it's more dangerous.
I think that's most of it.
But you just think that their ideologies they're just throwing out there for ratings, that they don't really, given half a chance, would try and enact some of them. I mean, what happened to sensible conservatives and sensible Democrats?
They're boring. They're boring. They've got people. It isn't sexy. Who cares? We want we want sexy politics. We want to be, we want the drama. And those people like Tucker Carlson, know it. Look, I've spent a large part of my career in media. And in that time, I've had a lot of consultants who come in and say, okay, Mark, as a talent, because that's what I am. Tucker Carlson, he isn't particularly, he's not a journalist, number one. Okay. I don't know what his education is. It's probably pretty good, but he's no different than you or I. What makes him special?
Well, he's got an awful lot of power. But I mean, to be fair to
but
Tucker Carlson, I mean, he's interesting because some of his criticisms are legitimate. I mean, I think globalization has hurt communities.
I don't disagree.
You know,
I don't. But I want to tell you. I want to tell you something. Years ago, I think he was on MSNBC back then, and every day, at least when he was on the air, he wore a bow tie. All right?
Tucker Carlson wore a bow tie.
Tucker Carlson that was his signature, and
I mean, only professors are allowed to wear bow ties. And he is many things. Professorial is not one of them. No.
But what does that tell you?
I think he's pretty much full of shit these days. But
right. But what is wearing a bow tie every day? What does that tell you? And there's nothing wrong. I don't want to get a bunch of emails from people who wear bow ties. What's wrong with bow tie?
I might put one on next week, Mark.
Yeah, right.
But were they hand tied or were they already prefixed?
I'm hoping that he tied them himself. I would hate to think he had
someone tied them for him. Yeah, he's a clip-on. He's definitely. Listen, all I would tell you is his politics today are clip-on politics because he's just taking them right out of Nick Fuentes and throwing them on the bonfire.
Well, there's another one, Nick Fuentes, who just screams for attention. If you really believe that these people believe in everything that they say, you're wrong. But the bow tie. Getting back to that real quick, I'll make my point. People like Tucker who wear bow ties are screaming for attention. They're screaming to stand out because how many other people wear a bow tie? Now, if you take that into account, you recognize that part of his thing is, look at me, look at me, look at me. He wants eyeballs and he wants ears. He's a media person, not a journalist. He's a personality.
Yeah, but do you think Bernie Sanders did it because he wanted attention? I mean...
No, not Bernie. Bernie's not a media guy. Bernie's a politician. Tucker Carlson is a media personality.
Yeah. Well, so is our current president, or was, until he became president. But I mean, that brings me back to a point because Tucker Carlson almost he's almost as unpatriotic as the Republicans would call the Democrats. I mean, he's trashing pretty much every institution in America. And on top of that, is blowing smoke up the arse of America's biggest enemy, well, until recently, Russia. Has he been to China yet to sit down with Xi?
I don't know.
That'll be next.
I don't know.
How can it be that, but again, we talked about this last week, it's the kind of horseshoe politics. I mean, the extremes of both parties are pretty much meeting in the middle. And,
what do you mean?
Well, I mean, in terms of, they are anti-institutions, they're anti-Washington, D.C., they are anti-corporate globalization, they're anti-large corporates. I mean, there's not much paper between Carlson and AOC on those matters.
Yeah, but fundamentally, I think you have to agree they're on opposite ends of the world, right? When it comes to
but I think the point is that horseshoe politics is they're beginning to meet in the middle. I mean, I
don't understand what horseshoe politics is. You're going to have to explain
a horseshoe. Almost
I know what a horseshoe is, but tell me how.
It just means that the extremes of both parties, rather than being binary, are beginning to sound a lot like each other at the extreme ends.
I don't know that I agree with that, Clive. I think that they're both very loud, and the loudest people on both sides are getting all the attention because it's the sexiest thing you can put on TV and radio and on the internet.
Let me give you an explicit example. You can do this because you do Bernie's accent so well, and I can't. Bernie shouts, "Billionaires are screwing you."
Mm-hmm.
Tucker Carlson screams, "Globalist billionaires are screwing you." I mean, what they're basically saying the same. That they're both saying Washington D.C. is screwing you.
Well, we're just talking about Tucker Carlson, but let's talk about some other really truly right wing people like Sean Hannity. I don't think Sean Hannity is doing that. Sean Hannity is so extreme, though, that there isn't a Democrat in the world that has said anything or done anything good, and that's when you're just playing your role. Rush Limbaugh did that. Sean Hannity does that. A lot of the people on the right that you see and hear every day are playing their roles. I think going back to the left again, Hassan Piker, the things that he espouses, the things that he says, I don't actually believe that he believes in all of those things. I think he just has come to the realization that when you throw out these extreme ideas, you get a lot of attention.
Has Hassan Piker been on Tucker yet?
Has he been on Tucker? I don't know. I doubt it. But it's possible.
Well, yeah.
Has he been on Rogan yet?
No idea. I mean, at least Rogan, actually, having said that, Rogan has given some. I mean, I'm not suggesting that for 1 minute anybody should be cancelled. I mean, I think Tucker should have on who he wants. But my sense is, I mean, if you're going to have on people with what can only be called objectionable, radical, and even revolutionary ideas that are also in many cases racist or anti-Semitic, then you really need to hold them to account. And I don't think Joe Rogan does that, or did that when he had, I can't remember the comic and historian on, who basically said the Holocaust never happened. He's a Holocaust denier. I mean, but anyway, I mean, where does this take us? Because we have lost the middle ground. That's, I guess, really what my concern is, that we've lost reasonable, rational people who discuss ideas, not ideologies.
Not sexy. It's not sexy. And the American public, I don't know about over there in the UK or wherever you are, the Cotswolds. Is that even in the UK? What's a Cotswold?
Not at the moment. I think it might become the 51st state of America, judging by the amount of.
Donald Trump will declare it as a U.S. territory.
Oh, coming soon. Actually, yeah. Well, I've got. They certainly have some big. What do you call it? U.S. Air Force bases here.
They do. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I think that it's, we've now been trained. We've talked about this a little bit before. I think the American public in particular has been trained. We got to get on one side or the other, and we're not really particularly interested in sane discussions. We want drama. We want the extremism. It's a drug, and when we don't get it, we're just not that interested.
So how do we got two problems here, Mark. We are looking to, and we're doing quite nicely, we're looking to grow our platform, but we're trying to do it in search of sanity, whereas what you're suggesting seems to be that insanity is what drives ratings. So are we doomed to not reach the heights of I'd take 10% of Joe Rogan's platform, but
well, I don't know. I think that the entertainment value is fine, and I am one of those people that will watch it. I will consume it myself, but I've been in it, so I understand it. I understand that they have a role to play, and that consultants come in and they say, because they've done it to me as a media person, you have a role to play, and you need to stick to that role in order to grow your audience. And when you start going outside it, it becomes confusing for people, and you don't want to confuse them. You want to keep them. So I think that if we just sort of recognize that it is mostly entertainment,
but isn't what they're doing isn't what they're doing by chasing an audience? I mean, President Trump feeds his base, AOC, Bernie Sanders feed their base. Here's what worries me, Mark, is look at the turnout. I mean, just the voter turnout to me is, two things. Trust in institutions and government is at an all-time low. Turnout, except in the last election with Trump, is dropping off. Here in the UK, we have exactly the same problems. We've got, a radical left appearing in the form of the Green Party, led by a guy who thinks he can make women's boobs bigger by
I'm in.
by thinking about them. And then you've got on the right a Restore Party led by a guy, Rupert Lowe, whose number 2 is as much an anti-Semite as Fuentes is. So my problem is, where does this take liberal democracy. I mean, I personally think liberal democracy is in real trouble, and it's clearly not working for the average Joe or Joanne, which is why they tune out, and which leaves you with Muppets playing to the. I mean, it's kind of like we got those two guys from Muppets, sitting in the box. What was, I can't remember their names.
That's you and me. I don't think they had names. They just that's you and me.
Well, it could be Tucker Carlson and Bernie Sanders as well. We're at 15 minutes already. What's the solution, Mark?
Solution is to I don't know, educate yourself, get off the sauce. You're on the drug, and I don't think a lot of people recognize they're on the drug. And I hate to say this because we're putting out stuff as well. We're putting out content, but I think people need to pull themselves away from this extreme, and it's media. It is
right.
Media, at least for me. Take a break. Just take a break. And that's all I can say.
Take a break. Well, that might be a good place to end this week's show. But I can commit that whatever happens, if you keep coming back, you're not going to get the same old. And I am genuinely concerned. I mean, our whole point of this show is to get rid of toxic partisanship. And you might not agree with the other side, but we're all human beings at the end of the day. I think socialist ideology is very, very dangerous. So is fascist ideology. And they all revolve around big government. Perhaps we should look to some of the, we need to get back to, do you know, the federal government has gone from 18% of GDP to 23% in the last 30 or 40 years. I mean, that's a massive increase.
Yeah.
We need, perhaps we need to get back to the, a small central government, federal government, and then let the states act as republics And
again, going back to Tucker Carlson, we started with him, maybe we'll end with him. Tucker Carlson is not a serious person politically. He's a personality. And this whole talk of him starting another party, it's the personality. So please.
I hope he does start another party, to be honest with you, because I'd like to see 2 or 3 more parties start. And then I'll tell you, there are solutions to it. Get money out of politics. Get some sort of proportional representation or ranked choice voting. You have to get rid of, as Jordan Cunningham said when he was on the show, you've got to get rid of the extremes. You've got to let moderate people have conversations, not confrontations, about sensible ideas, not radical ideologies.
And how many parties do you have there in the UK? How many different?
I think 5 principal parties at the moment. But then we also, because we're becoming, the United Kingdom is now 4 independent countries, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales, and they all have actually England doesn't have its own government, but so you've got 5 or 6 before you get into the regional lot. So yeah, and hey, listen, it's still as, actually maybe I've just shot myself in the foot. It's still as toxic over here as it is over there, even with 5 parties. So I don't know, maybe
that's it.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Maybe,
We're at 18
maybe
minutes,
democracy isn't the answer.
All right. Hey, let's be
communist.
Right, guys. Let's be communist. Let's try it. Let's just see if we like it.
Well, it might just happen.
Try it on. Let's see if it fits. If it doesn't fit, then we just go back to the old ways of
There'll
doing
be even
things.
more Americans in the Cotswolds if that happens. There are now. And funnily enough, most of the people in the Cotswolds, trust me, they vote Democrat.
Oh, okay.
All right,
sir. Thank you, everybody, for your 18 minutes. And we'll see you next time in Search of Sanity for 15 minutes. Take care,
Indeed,
everybody.
my lord. Yes. Tutty bye. Toodle pips.
Shut up.